Hey guys, and welcome to Solar Cabin Channel. Today I'm finally going to be hooking up these two Topsolar 100 watt solar panels. These have an adjustable bracket so they can be tipped forward or backwards. I put these up in the springtime, got busy with other projects and never did hook them up into my recharging station because I'm going to be replacing panels on both sides, which I'll show you here. Some older panels that I'm going to be using for a different purpose. I'm going to be replacing those 4 panels with these 2 panels and a better Renogy MPPT controller and a 300 amp hour battery. So come on along and I'll show you that hookup and I'll show you what I'm going to be replacing here. Okay, so these are 2 100 watt panels. They're different sizes, but they're both 100 watts. And I got this trailer a while back, was going to build a micro camper on it, but I got in a hurry. I needed someplace to mount these panels for a recharging station. So I just mounted them to this trailer. And it's worked really well because you can move and adjust the trailer. I can move the trailer up or down for whether the sun is. And I can rotate it and get the morning or the afternoon sun. So it's worked well, but I want to use my trailer to build a micro camper, and I want to use these panels for a different purpose. So I'm going to be replacing those, and I'll show you the other panels I'm going to replace. Okay, and these are the 2 other panels I'm going to be replacing. These panels are old. They're about 15 years old. I got them when I first installed my system on the cabin. These are 2 big old poly panels, and you can see that they were huge, they were heavy, they were up on my porch and was really a pain. But the new panels that they use now are mono panels. They are much smaller, you get more power out of a smaller amount of space. These are older panels. I'll use them for some other project. I keep them around because they still work really well. Even after 15 years, they still get good production. But I'm going to be replacing these 2 and those other 2 with just those 2 100 watt mono panels up on my roof. So let's go inside and I'll show you my setup in there. Okay, so I'm going to be wiring those 200 watt Topsolar solar panels that I put on my porch roof out there into my system. And I have already used this, and I've used this for a few years now. This is my recharging station. And you can see it is kind of a mess, okay? Because I've used those old solar panels. I've had 2 different controllers in here. I've got 2 different types of batteries. I've got a LifePole 4 made by Ampere Time. And I've got a Renogy AGM sitting on here. I've got a bunch of extraneous wires. Now how I use this system, this is my recharging station. I've got a 1200 watt pure sine inverter on there for running small appliances, and also a backup system for like my microwave and running my air fryer or something like that. But I primarily use this to run 2 different fridges. I have 2 different 12 volt fridges running off of this system. And then I also use it for recharging things like my e-bike batteries. I've got 2 e-bike batteries here. Recharge those up in the summer from this system. And then I've also got a USB charging port, which I'll kind of show you here if I can get it up here. It has 2 AC outlets and like 6 different USB plugs. It's got like 6 different USB plugs, USB, USB A, C, B, everything on there for recharging things like cell phones and gadgets, which we all have. Everything anymore is rechargeable by USB, it seems. So I recharge all my cell phones, my small gadgets, everything like that from this system here. But you can see it's a mess. And so I want to get all these wires and everything cleaned up. What I'm going to be doing is replacing both of these batteries, because this is a 200 amp hour, that's a 100 amp hour. I'm going to be replacing those with this Temgot, T-E-M-G-O-T battery, which I have done reviews on, which I did a full review on my channel if you want to go check it out. This is a 300 amp hour battery, but this is special because it actually has an LED reading on top of it here. You can push this button and it will actually tell you everything about this battery, how full it is, how many amp hours are going out of it, how many watts are going out of it. All of that stuff even tells you the temperature of the battery. These are really nice batteries. I'm going to replace these 2 with this 1 battery so I can clear this out, get rid of some of this wiring and clean up my charging station so it's not such of a mess here. Now this is a LifePole 4 battery. It is completely sealed. These are completely safe to have inside the house. I will find other uses for this. In fact, I already got a use for this AGM. I'm going to be using it on the diesel heater that I did a video of. I'm going to put that outside to use with my diesel heater. This other one I'll store for now because I'll probably use it in a project next year. But I'm going to replace them both with this Temgot. So I'm going to go ahead and wire this up and I'll show you what I did. Okay guys, so I've got this all changed out now. I've got my Temgot 300 amp hour battery. I've got that hooked into my Renogy Rover 30 amp controller. I've got the new two 100-watt Topsolar panels with the adjustable brackets on my roof. Those are hooked in. Now, when you hook in your system, just so you know, always connect the battery to the controller first, and let it read the battery, because it needs to read the battery to know how much voltage it needs to charge it up. You also need to set it for whatever type of battery you're using. So I'm using a LiFePO 4 battery. I've got this set for a LiFePO 4 on here, and I've got my panels hooked in. It's only 2 wires coming in from the panels, 2 wires going down to the battery, and then I've got this wired to my inverter. This is a larger inverter. This is a 1,000-watt. Made by Power Drive. It is a pure sine inverter. I use this for charging up large appliances. I also run one of my small micro fridges off of it. But I can run pretty much any of my appliances off this. I can run my air fryer over here. I can run my microwave. This is a backup system for my main system that I use for those. And I also have that small charger, which I'm going to show you here. And this is a gadget inverter. It's a 120-watt inverter. It has 3 AC slots and it has 4 USB slots. And I really like that thing because it doesn't have a fan, uses very little power. And I use a universal core, which I'll put these links for these because I don't remember what exactly the brand names are on them. But this is a universal, and you can see it has all of the different plugs on it. Instead of having a bunch of individual wires, I must have had 25 different individual wires up here, which you see how much of a mess it was. All I need is this thing. And I can plug it in, choose whichever one I need to plug in, instead of having a whole bunch of individual wires. You probably got the same thing at your house. That every gadget you get has a different wire. And so with this, I can charge up my phone. Right now I'm charging up my MP3 player, and I'm charging up my tool battery because my drill was dead when I went to use it. So I can charge up tools like this, and I'm charging that all off this gadget charger. And this small inverter also has 2 DC slots for the cigarette plug style. Also has 4 USB slots and 3 AC slots. And I can use this inverter for charging things like my e-bike batteries, because I use my e-bike all the time, especially in summer. And so I can charge up my e-bike batteries, charge up my scooter, I charge up my vacuum cleaners, all off of this 200-watt solar panel, 300-amp-hour battery. And because they don't need to be charged and running all the time, they're not a constant draw. Most of the time, this thing is just charging up in the sun unless I'm charging something off of it. So the 300-amp-hour battery gives me a whole lot of capacity. Now I changed this out. You've seen I had a 200-amp-hour LiFePO 4 and a 100-amp-hour AGM. This is the AGM. Now this is a Renogy AGM. They are good batteries. However, this battery weighs a ton. This battery weighs a lot. This 300-amp-hour battery weighs less than this AGM battery. Really does. And it also has much more capacity. AGM batteries, you can only draw down safely to about 50%. If you get below 50%, you can actually damage the batteries. So you're really not getting 100 amp hour out of a 100 amp hour battery. This 300 amp hour LiFePO 4 can be drained down to 0 without doing any damage. So I'm actually getting more than 3 times the capacity of those 2 batteries that I have. Now I'm still going to use this because this is an AGM. I can set it outside. I'm going to be using this with my new diesel heater, so it's going to get use. And that other 200 amp hour, I'll find a project to use with that. I also replaced the Renogy Wanderer. This is a PWM controller. I don't need it now. I don't need 2 controllers. I only need 1. I'm using the Renogy Rover, which is an MPPT controller. It'll get about 15% more power out of my solar panels than a PWM. And I don't need this, so I took it down. I will use this with this system for my diesel heater. And I've got everything nice and neat. You can see I've got all my wiring nice and clean. None of that external wiring out here. I've got just 3 wires coming off. Wires from the controller going to the battery. Wires from my solar panels come in right here. And then I've got a couple of wires that go up to the large inverter and my small gadget charger. All right, that is a recharging station, and works really well. You can put one of these, because these batteries are sealed, you could put this in your shed, in your shop, in your garage, or even in your house, which is where I keep mine. All right, folks, I hope you enjoyed this video. Stick around and you'll see the installation for those solar panels, and also how I had to adapt the mounts for those. Have a great day, folks. Well, hey guys, and welcome to Solar Cabin Channel. I just opened up this box. This is a 100-watt adjustable mount solar panel. This is made by Topsolar, and I got two of these because I liked the mount system that it showed in the picture. So I'm hoping the mount system will work because it's adjustable, so you can adjust these panels so that they can be at a different angle to get the best sun. What I'm going to do with these is I'm going to replace a couple of my older panels that are not monocrystalline. This is a monocrystalline panel, and you'll see the difference in size when I take them outside and show you. And I'm going to put these up on my porch roof to replace those big panels I've got just propped up against my cabin. And this is a kit, and it comes with the panel with the adjustable mounts, and it comes with the, I think, 15 feet of wire from the panel to your controller. It comes with a controller. The controller is a PWM controller. I am probably not going to use the PWM controller because I have an MPPT controller that will get about 15% more power out of the panels. It also includes wires from the controller to the battery. So that's a pretty good kit at a reasonable price. So I thought I would show you this because it may be something the rest of you are interested in. Okay, so let's see what's in this bag of goodies that comes with that Topsolar solar panel kit. MC4 connectors. Okay, that's the battery cable that goes from the controller to the battery. Looks kind of small, but if it's 8 gauge, I'll look on it, see what it says here. Just says positive, doesn't say. That does not look like 8 gauge. It looks like maybe 12 gauge wire. I usually like to use 8 gauge wire to my batteries, but it would still work for just a small kit. And then again, those look like 12 gauge probably, MC4, and I think that's supposed to be 15 feet. We'll have to see how long it is. Comes with the black and the red. There's the battery connector. There's the panel connectors. I'm assuming that's the controller. It comes with mounting bolts, different styles of mounting bolts, it looks like, for your different roof types. And I'm probably going to be using heavy-duty screws instead of the bolts for my system. But they do include the wing nuts and the bolts, so there's that. And then I'm guessing these are the mounting brackets, and it comes with an instruction manual. Set that out of the way. And the mounting brackets go on the sides and look like this. And then these are adjustable. So you put 2 on the panel and then mount 2 to the whatever your roof structure, or you could mount this to a board. You could do a ground mount on some 2x6 lumber or something like that, and then they rotate. Okay, so I got these mounting brackets out, and the first thing that I noticed is the solar panels frames do not come with the pre-drilled holes for these mounts. All right, so you're going to have to drill a couple of holes in order to mount these. It's not a big deal, but if they're going to sell it as a kit, it should come with pre-drilled holes so you can just put it together. It is a kit, but it is a kit that you will have to drill in order to use these mounting brackets. They also don't give you the instructions for these mounting brackets. They give you some for some L-shaped brackets that are not these. So it took me a while to kind of figure out what I was doing here, so to save you some time, what I did is I moved. You have to find the correct bracket, put it on the side like this. It will extend down below the panel, okay? And what I did is I matched it up. There's a slot right here, and I just matched the bottom of this piece here with that slot, and I'll do the same thing on the other side. That way they are both exactly the same on the mount. Now, after you do that, you'll need to drill through it. I used my drill, and what I did is I put this piece on it first. I put this piece on the frame, measured out exactly where I wanted it. Then I took a pen and I marked my 2 holes that I need to drill. Then I used a small drill bit to go through it first to make a hole. And then I used the bigger drill bit, which is probably like a 1/4-inch drill bit, to make the holes for the bolts so the holes would go through. Once you do that, it goes through. It's aluminum, so it drills fast. Once you go through that, then it's solid, okay? Then your other mounting bracket, and you got to make sure you get these so that they're actually on the correct size here. As you can see, there are holes. There's a mounting hole or a base hole, and then there's 3 holes up here for your adjustment. There's a mounting hole here, and then there's 3 holes here for your adjustment. So this bracket here goes on top of it, and it will have a bolt through here, which I'll show you in a minute. It'll have a bolt through here, and then you have another bolt up here so you can slide and adjust this, okay? So you can slide it out so that it'll be completely horizontal, or you can slide it all the way up so that it'll be at a much shorter angle, almost like a 10-degree angle. So you've got 3 different mounting holes down here, or tilt holes, I would call these, adjustment holes, so that you can adjust this panel. So I'll go ahead and put the bolts in here just to kind of give you an idea of how this works. So I'm going to be setting mine almost flat. So I'm going to set mine to an angle about like so. And that bolt goes through there. A washer. So that bolt goes through there, and a washer and a wing nut. Tighten those down. Alright. And then you just need to do the same thing to the other side. Tighten those all up good. And then you will mount this. This has holes, and then this has holes, as you can see down here. And when we get this up on the roof, I will need to drill some holes, or I'm going to use screws and washers and go through these into my porch roof up here. And so that will mount it. And then in the wintertime, my sun is low, and so it will catch the panel as it's almost perpendicular or horizontal to the roof, and that also keeps the snow off of it. And then in summer, it will be much higher, and so I will change these mounts, just simply undo these bolts. This bolt here is the only one I'll have to undo. Move it up and change the angle on this for summer. All right, I like the mount system. They should have pre-drilled the holes, though, for this frame, okay? That a lot of people don't have drills and drill bits, and may not have the skills they want to be drilling into this. So just be aware you're going to have to drill some holes if you do this mounting system. Okay, so here you can see how the mounting brackets go on these. And as you can see, you can adjust this by just moving one bolt on each side. You can adjust this so that it lays all the way down flat, or you can tip it all the way up. I'm going to leave it at this angle here for winter. That way the snow will just flow right off it. I won't have to clean the panels off, and in low sunlight, this will get plenty of sunlight on it from this direction. Well, hey guys, and welcome to Solar Cabin Channel. It is getting towards the end of January here, and we got a bright sunshiny day. The weather has been really nice here this winter. We've had less than an inch of snow the entire winter. So I thought I'm going to take this opportunity to work on my solar panel system. Now, I made a couple of videos previously showing a new 300 amp hour battery, and I've got some new solar panels that are adjustable. Now, what I'm going to be putting together is a recharging station. It's going to be a 200 watt recharging station, and this is a project that would work anywhere. You can even use this in the city, use it as a recharging station for a shed or a workshop, or as a power backup system in the event that the power grid goes down and you need a power source. So I think this is a really good project and something a lot of people will be interested in. Now, you will notice that I have some panels up here. And these are portable panels, and then I've got some old polycrystalline panels that I've had for many, many years. And I've got another portable 100 watt flexible solar panel up here. And I've been using these over winter for basically experimenting to see how much power they would produce, and to use them to recharge my portable power stations. And I've been recharging a 200 amp hour LFP battery. Now, that system is only used for one purpose. In my cabin, it is used for recharging the battery so that I have a steady power supply for my communication systems. That's my Wi-Fi and my laptop, and recharging my phone. That is all they are used for. I don't use it for anything else. And so I don't need a lot of solar in order to keep those charged up. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be replacing all of these with a 200 watt, a set of 100 watt panels. It'll be 200 watts altogether, that come with some special mounting brackets that make them adjustable. And I'm going to be putting them up on my porch roof. Now, I used to have these old panels up there, but the problem with that is we would get so much snow that I would have to be scurrying out my window and brushing off those panels, and it was just a real bad situation. It was unsafe, and it was a whole lot of work. Well, these new adjustable panels can be set so that they can be almost perpendicular, so the snow is just going to slide off of them. The very worst I would have to do is come out here with maybe a broom and just give them a quick brush when we get a snowstorm. So that's what I'm going to show you in this video today. So stick around, because I think this is a project a lot of you people who just want a small solar panel system and a battery for a recharging station or a backup for your power grid. This is a project you're going to want to know how to do. All right, folks, let's get to it, and I'll show you these panels. Okay, so these are the panels that I'm going to be using. These are made by Topsolar. These are 100-watt panels with about a 20% power efficiency and about 8.3 amps output. Good panels. These are monocrystalline panels. Monocrystalline panels generally have a higher output than polycrystalline panels. Those old panels that I showed you, the really big ones, you can see that two of these are about the same size as one of those poly panels. And these are special because they come with the mount. So this comes as a kit, and these are mounted. And these have a mounting bracket that is adjustable. And I've showed this in the other video, but basically they have a mounting bracket. This can be attached to the roof or to a wall of a house, or you could even make it as a standalone mount on the ground. If you do it as a ground mount, you probably want to use like 2x6 lumber, about 3 foot long, and mount each leg to that. That gives it some support so it doesn't tip over. But these have an adjustable mount, and by moving this one wing nut on both sides, you can actually tip these panels all the way down. So when your sun is high in the summertime, your sun is a lot higher, you can tip them down to get the best angle for the sun in summertime. And then in winter, I'm going to tip them up, and this is the angle I'm going to be keeping them up at. And they will be sitting on my porch roof. Or any snow that settles on them is just going to slide right off. So I won't even have to clean these panels. It's very unlikely they will get any snow on them at all. So that's the plan with this. So now I need to get these up on my porch roof, and I'll show you how I attach them up there. Okay, guys, so I got these up on my roof. I put them up here from the ladder, and then I come out my window. Now I'm using screws and washers to mount this. In the panel kits, they also include the bolts, which are, if you want to use them on a different type of roof, or if you're doing them for a shed or something like that, or maybe a brick wall, you can use those. I'm just using 2.5-inch screws and a washer to go through the slots on these, which should be plenty. They're going to be really solid. They're not going to go anywhere. Now, a couple of tricks here. You notice that I left a space between these panels. That's because I will need to adjust them for summer, and so I need to be able to get into this space right here and just undo these two nuts and on both sides, and then I can lay them down for summer when the sun is going to be a lot higher. Also, I put the MC4 connectors right here in the middle, because I'm going to be running this as a 24-volt system, which means I'm going to be connecting my my positive and negative together on both panels, and then I will run one positive and negative cable down to my controller. This will run as a 24-volt system instead of a 12-volt system. That uses smaller wire gauge, a little bit cheaper wire than it is to buy 8-gauge wire, which I would need if I ran these as 12-volt, and I can run it a longer distance. So that's why I'm doing that, and left the space here. And I'll just need to put in this last screw here, and then I can attach these cables and start showing you how to do that. And then in the next video, I will show it how it is connected to the controller and to the battery inside. So this is how they mount. And then from the ground, I won't have to get up here again. From the ground, from my ladder, I can just undo the bolts on both sides, lay this down for summer, tighten those bolts back up. Makes it really easy. And in wintertime, they'll be set at this angle. When my sun is much lower in the sky, they will get optimum sun. And because of this angle, any snow won't accumulate on them. It'll just slide right off. We'll put this last screw and washer in this one. Okay, those are both really good and solid. I can go ahead and hook these up, and I'll get my wiring up here. So like I said, I'm running a 24-volt system. So I'm just going to take the positive from this one, and I'm going to take the negative from this one. And you can't confuse them because these are MC4 connectors, so they will only connect to the right one. So I'm going to be running positive and negative, like so. Hook those together. Okay, and then I'm going to be running a positive and negative wire from these down into the cabin, and that will give me a 24-volt system. So let's get the wiring up here, and we'll do that. Okay, so I've got my panels connected together. Like I said, I'm running a 24-volt system. The kit comes with the wiring. This looks to be probably 10-gauge wiring. and that's adequate for a 24-volt system. And it comes with about, I think, 10 feet of wire or so. And I'm going to be running both of these strands of wire here down across the roof and into my cabin so that I can connect them to the controller. And that's what we'll be doing in the next video. But for now, we'll just go down and look from the ground and see how these look on my roof, and you can tell me what you think of these panels. Okay, guys, so I've got those two 100-watt solar panels up on my porch roof up there. And those will be used for my recharging station. I'm also going to show you these are my two 400-watt main systems. This system here is 4 100-watt panels, monocrystalline panels. Another 400-watt panels made by Renogy. And this is a 24-volt system here. This is a 12-volt system here. These run everything in my cabin. And the recharging panels, the system up there, will be used for recharging my e-bike, running my computer, laptop, Wi-Fi system, and all my communication systems, and recharging tools and things like that. So that's how I'm going to be using this system. In the next video, I will show you how I hook up the wires from that panel to the charge controller and the new battery. So be sure and stay tuned and watch for that video. Thanks, folks, and have a great day.